Hi friends and subscribers, welcome to the Cricket Happening show today, and I welcome you to the first day's play report in the second test match of the just retirement series between England and Sri Lanka, which was played at the P. Sharavanamuttu Stadium here in Colombo. Well, once again, it was the man captain of the Sri Lankan team, Mahela Jayawardence, who had to come to the rescue of the Sri Lankan team and once again scoring his second consecutive century in this particular test series. This is the second test match, so two back-to-back centuries by Mahela Jayawardene. And basically, he scored one in the first, and now in the second test match too, he started off with a bang. He scored a century, and that is what enabled Sri Lanka, even though they were rocked early on. In fact, just going through the story there at the P. Sara Oval here in Colombo on the first day of the second test, it was the Sri Lankan captain who won the toss. As far as Sri Lanka were concerned, they had Damika Prasad coming in for Chanaka Velagadra, and England had Stephen Finn coming in for Stuart Broad. As far as in fact, Sri Lanka were in early trouble right from the word go. In fact, they didn't have a good start and they really struggled. And the man, James Anderson, with the new ball was absolutely deadly. And as you know, the new cherry in the hands of James Anderson nowadays is something every opposition dreads. And that's what he did. He swung the ball, and the first wicket to go was Tirakane Dilshan, the opener, who hung his bat as he shaped to actually probably glide it, and he got a edge onto it. Matt Pryor did the rest. He was gone, out for 14 with 3 boundaries. So that made the score 21 for 1. And Kumar Sangakkara walked and left the same way that he came from the pavilion, as Kumar Sangakkara was brilliant. I'm not brilliantly caught. In fact, it was a catch. Anderson got the ball to move. This was the first up delivery, and Kumar Sangakkara, as identical in the first innings of the first test, similarly did fish on a ball from James Anderson, which was moving away a bit, and Kumar Sangakkara was gone. Caught by Andrew Strauss in the slips, who actually got the ball came to him, and Andrew Strauss it popped out of his hand, but Andrew Strauss managed to cling on to it, and Kumar Sangakkara was walking for a duck there. So 21 for 2 was Sri Lanka, and Anderson was doing all the damage. And after that, Lahiru Thirimani played the most silliest shot, I would say. In fact, he didn't play a shot at all. In fact, he offered no shot to a ball from James Anderson, which was shaping in, and he was adjudged plumb in front, and Lahiru Thirimani was gone. LBW ball James Anderson. In fact, he padded to James Anderson, and he was gone for 8, and the score was 30 for 3, and Sri Lanka were in real trouble at that stage. But the captain, Mahela Jayawardence, was there. He was the pilot of the team there, and Samaraweera joined him. And slowly this partnership blossomed, with Mahela Jayawardene playing all the strokes. I mean, Mahela Jayawardene, what to say about this knock? He was playing all the strokes around the wicket. It didn't really bother him. Even the hat-trick delivery that Anderson bowled when Anderson was in a hat-trick, Jayawardene was able to actually hit it for a boundary. And Mahela Jayawardene was absolutely confident person. Why not? He was full of confidence and captaincy. According to me, Mahela Jayawardene doesn't have any burden. He has been actually blossoming after getting the captaincy there, and 124 is a very good thinker too. And if you see the amount of strokes he played, the way he played the bowlers, it was really good to see, using the feet to the spinners. He was negotiating the swing very well, and Samaraweera at the other end was also giving him very good company, good support from Samaraweera, and both of them pushed on the score to 154. And England were wondering at one stage that where is the 4th wicket going to come, and the wicket did come, and this was Tim Bresnan who came in and broke that stand by getting Samaraweera out. He tried to flick the ball down the onside. It was LBW ball, Tim Bresnan for 54 with 5 fours, but he had formed into a very, very good partnership with Mahela Jayawardene, very vital partnership of 124 runs, which was very, very useful. Mahela Jayawardene was joined by Angelo Mathews, and then from 154, again, it was hard work for England, as Angelo Mathews dug himself in. In fact, he had a testing time with James Anderson, who moved the ball, and Angelo Mathews was left groping. He was beaten quite a number of times, but Angelo Mathews withstood the test, stayed there, played the percentage strokes. Mahela Jayawardene was there at the other end. So both of them went on, and now the score went on to 216, and this was the final session. And in the final session, what happened was Mahela Jayawardence was gone. He was LBW after making a century. He was LBW bowled Graham Swan for 105 with 11 fours and one beautiful six that he hit. And Mahela Jayawardence, that was the last session where England really came back, because 216 for 5 when Mahela Jayawardence left, and Prasanna Jayawardene was a victim of Stephen Finn. As Stephen Finn got the ball to bounce, Prasanna Jayawardene was gone. Caught Matt Pryor, bowled Stephen Finn for 7 with 1 4, and that made the score 227 for 6. And it was all left to Angelo Mathews, who has come back from injury, to stay there. He's not going to bowl in this match, as you know. And Angelo Mathews stayed there. Suraj Zanadive stayed there, and both of them took the score to the safety, I would say, at close of play on the first day, when the score stood at 238 for 6 after 90 full overs were bowled. Angelo Mathews was batting beautifully. Not beautifully, I would say. Angelo Mathews was just getting his bearings there. He was batting on 41 with 4 boundaries. Suraj Zanadive was not out on 5 with 1 boundary. 238 for 6 was the closing score on the first day of the second test. And James Anderson bowled splendidly in the morning. 17 overs, 2 maidens, 52 runs on 3 wickets. He rocked the Sri Lankan board there, but Mahela Jayawardene rectified things pretty quickly. Stephen Finn, in fact, generated a lot of bounce out of this pitch, and it was very good to see Stephen Finn, 18 overs, 3 maidens, 43 runs on 1 wicket. Tim Bresnan, 15 overs, 2 maidens, 1 for 32, bowling after a long time. Samit Patel bowled 16 overs, 3 maidens, none for 32. Graham Swan, 22 overs, 2 maidens, 1 for 71. That vital wicket of Mahela Jayawardene, the captain of the Sri Lankan team. And Kevin Peterson rolled his arm over for 2 overs, and he bowled 4 overs. Now, just talking about this pitch, the pitch is playing very well. In fact, I wouldn't say this pitch is very easy to bat on. The ball is not coming onto the bat, so the slower you bowl, there could be chances that, if the batsmen are committed to a stroke, there could be some dismissals. So now what is the onus is on Angelo Mathews. Now I think looking at the score at 238 for 6, with Sri Lanka armed with a lot of spinners, I think this score on the close of play is something that Sri Lanka would take after being hit by the early blows from James Anderson. And Angelo Mathews has a job to do tomorrow. Now, one more thing I'll tell you. The new ball was taken, and the new ball immediately got the effect when Prasanna Jayawardene was dismissed. So the new ball is absolutely new. There's not much overs bowled, probably 6 or 7 overs bowled. And tomorrow, second would be the dew factor in the morning. And I think England should do well to wrap this Sri Lankan, not the tail, because Angelo Mathews is still there. He's digging himself very well there. So if, as you know, Angelo Mathews stood that real test there with Anderson swinging the ball and really made Angelo Mathews think, but definitely got over that and got to a good knock, very useful knock of 41. Now for England, what they would be liking to do is to wrap up this innings quickly, because as I said, it's not going to be easy for England to make a good score on this wicket. As you know, Rangana Herath wreaked havoc in the first test. It's not going to be easy, according to me. They have to really play well. So for Sri Lanka, whatever runs they get tomorrow is going to be a bonus. If they could stretch it to 300 with Angelo Mathews at the crease, that would be a big bonus for them. And as I said, England definitely have the Anderson tomorrow in the morning. As you know, he's very deadly with the new ball. So England will definitely rely on James Anderson to do something there. Stephen Finn, according to me, should be the next person who should be bowling with Anderson in tandem, and see whether they can knock off the Sri Lankan tail very quickly, so that they allow themselves the liberty to actually not go for a big score there. If Sri Lanka would set up 300, there would be a psychological advantage that they would have, and England would be the team which would be under immense pressure, because they already lost the first test. So as I said, the ball is not coming out of the bat. It's not easy, but there are two things could happen. England could mop up the tail quickly and restrict them to probably 250, 260, or it could be Sri Lanka stretching the lead to 300, taking the team's total to 300, and piling on the pressure on England with their spinners. Whether what is going to happen tomorrow remains to be seen. But we are all waiting for that second day's play to happen at the P. Sharanamuttu Stadium here in Colombo. That's it as far as this report is concerned. The other news that I would like to share here is the Indian Premier League 2012 is about to begin. The opening ceremony, and then we kick off with the first match with the defending champions, in my opinion, playing Mumbai Indians, if I'm not wrong. Other than that, dear fans, friends, and subscribers, I don't have anything else to share. I hope you all enjoyed this first day's play report of the first test between England and Sri Lanka, the Just Retirement Series played at the P. Sharanamuttu Stadium here in Colombo. So it has been a pleasure bringing you this cricket report on the first day's play in the first test match. Thanks for your company and thanks for watching Cricket Happenings. It's your host Ram signing off. Thank you.